Hello, Captains. This is your host, the Doctor / Borg Drone, and welcome to Star Trek Online Rise of Discovery. This is May 14th, Tuesday, and this is the new Rise of Discovery update in Star Trek Online. I'm here at the login screen because I just wanted to show you this is the new login screen in Star Trek Online for Rise of Discovery. You are going to see a very icy white landscape. And as you change your character, your ship and your bridge officers will show up just like that. So I'm going to log in now. This video is going to be an introduction to Rise of Discovery. We're going to go in-game here and look at the changes, see what they look like, see where you go to access everything, and what you can do with this new update. This is an introduction video. I will be doing a playthrough of the new missions. Make sure to subscribe so you can see that. Let's log into the game on my main character, the Doctor. He is a science character. And I'm going to log in. Hopefully I'm on Earth Space Dock. Yes, I am. And here we are, Rise of Discovery. Okay, right off the bat, it doesn't look like there's anything new. Not that it would. All this new stuff is basically under the hood. You got to go looking for it, okay? The very first thing that you can do when you log into the game, if you want to find out what's new and what you can do, hit the little help icon, the little flashing question mark. It will be flashing on your screen because there's new stuff there. And what you do is you click What's New in Rise of Discovery. From here, you can read what's new, and this will tell you basically all the things you can look for. First of all, it says here, Star Trek Online's latest update, Rise of Discovery, is now available. This new update will take captains to Pryor's World to join the fight against the Klingons with Captain Lorca and Commander Landry. Also available is a new reputation called Discovery Legends. This update will also include the ability for low-level captains to fly all Tier 6 ships which they own. So, this update includes 2 brand new episodes added to the Age of Discovery arc. Join Captain Lorca and Commander Landry at Pryor's World to help defend it against Klingon attack in the brand new story arc. You've got the plausibility of the possible and the impossibility of reason. We also have a new reputation. Captains level 50 and above will be able to progress through this new reputation to earn rewards found in the Discovery era. Along with this, the TFOs Pavo Ascension, Peril over Pavo, and Operation Riposte will be turned into standard TFOs with advanced and elite versions that can be run to earn marks for the reputation. And then Tier 6 ship scaling. All Tier 6 ships that a player's account owns can now be flown at low levels as long as you finish the tutorial. Okay? That's the new stuff. So, the first thing you'd probably want to do is to play the new episodes, because that's the actual, what I consider, content. That's the storyline. That's the whole arc of the game, is the storyline. So I would just go play the new episodes first. Now, I am on my Federation faction character here, and what I'm interested in looking at here next is how the mission journal has changed. Apparently, they have changed things so that Age of Discovery is now its own arc, and all of the Discovery missions are under that. And yes, that appears to be the case. So, under the Federation faction, a regular Starfleet 2409 Federation faction character, you will see you've got the Klingon War, the Romulan Mystery, Cardassian Struggle, Borg Advance, New, Romulus, Solanae, Delta, Iconian, Yesterday's War, Future Proof, New Frontiers, Gamma Quadrant, and then at the very end is Age of Discovery. So a regular Federation Starfleet captain will not be flying the Age of Discovery missions until the end of the storyline arc. Okay? Very end. But then we've got Secrets. Investigate a Federation science station that recently went out of contact. These are also in the DSC faction that you can play as well. And I will go on that faction and see how the mission journal looks. Downfall is Defend Starbase 1. Task Force Operations, you can do a TFO then. Then you got Parapacum, Illusion of Communication. Those have been out in the game previously. I did playthrough of both of those missions. You can check out those videos if you like on my channel. And then this is the new stuff today. the plausibility of the possible and the impossibility of reason. These are the 2 new episodes. They deal with Lorca, and this should be interesting. Pryor's World, we don't know a lot about that. It was mentioned in a Season 1 Discovery episode, but we never really learned a lot about it. These missions are going to take us back in time. It's going to take us to before the Star Trek Discovery series. It's going to build up and explain Lorca's past. We're going to learn more about Lorca prior to Discovery. So it's a prequel of a prequel. Okay? Very confusing, but that's the way it is. It also doesn't quite make sense here on the Federation faction that you would play these missions because they're in the past. So I'm just going to assume I'm like Riker in that terribly last episode of Enterprise, where I'm on a holodeck and I'm recreating a past series mission and playing it on the holodeck. That's what I'm going to assume Age of Discovery is from the standpoint of a 2409 Federation faction character, because they are at the end of all the mission arcs, so you have to get through everything to play these. So very end. But these are the new things to play today. So if you want to play the new stuff today, what's new? These 2 new missions. You can play them on any character. There you go. It will, of course, make more sense, however, if you're on a DSC Starfleet faction character. And I will log into that character that I have and see how it looks like there. But that's what it looks like here. That's the structure. That's the new missions. You can also probably just bring this up, and it should have, like, featured. It's not loading. You know what? They may have a loading problem. Look at this. Nothing's loading in the stuff. Yeah, it's supposed to have like the featured stuff right here on this bar. It's supposed to show you what's like what you could actually go do right now. Looks like they got a bug because it ain't loading in the menu. So I assume we're going to be getting a patch very soon. That usually happens right after a launch like this. You get the launch and then you get the post-launch patch. It just naturally happens in Star Trek Online. So anyway, though, you can still access the missions by going to the actual mission journal, all the episodes. Age of Discovery, bottom of the list, there's the 2 new episodes. Go play them, have fun. I'm going to do playthroughs of them myself. I'm going to do a blind Let's Play of both of them, so subscribe to the channel if you want to see that. That will be coming later on this week when I play these missions. And I'm going to do them 2 ways. I'm going to play them both on my Federation faction character and on my DSC Starfleet faction character. I want to see if there's any differences. So I'm going to play them 2 ways. At least 2 ways. I will probably also play them on a Klingon and a Romulan. And if there's anything that I see different there, I'll make a video on it. Otherwise, I won't. Okay, so that's that. You've done that. You've played those missions. What do you do next now with Rise of Discovery? Is that it? Well, not necessarily. You can go now to the Task Force Operation Queue, and you should be able to play all of the TFOs that were once there under Discovery. And in fact, this is how you can get to them real quickly, is on the left side here, go down to the very bottom and click Discovery Marks. And when you do that, you will see you've got Defensive Starbase 1, Operation Riposte, Pavho Dissension, and Peril over Pavho. All of these will now reward Discovery Marks. And you get a choice here. You get a choice of marks. You got Fleet Marks, Discovery Marks. And what's also new about these is you've got different skill levels. You've got Advanced and Elite. So if Normal isn't good enough for you, go with Advanced and Elite. I will probably just be stopping at Advanced. I don't need Elite. But it's there if you want it, and the difficulty of Elite has been increased. Now, Advanced is at least the level you need in order to get the spores. And the spores, remember, are required to buy the gear, because you need like 3 pieces of equipment to buy gear. You need dilithium, 4 really. You need energy credits and dilithium, and you have to have marks, and then you also have to have that special other little canister of whatever to buy gear in a reputation. So with this one, it's going to be spores. And you only get the spores starting at advanced level. You do not get the spores at normal. So you will need to at least play advanced to get the spores. But you can do that on any of these. Defensive Starbase 1, Operation Riposte, Pavo Dissension, and Peril over Pavo. And these are now permanently in the game. They are not featured TFOs anymore. They are now in the game. You can play them over and over and over and grind your marks out. Don't know what Discovery Elite is. That might be a bug, because there's nothing showing up there when I click on Discovery Elite. So I'm not sure what that is. Might be a bug, but Discovery Marks is where you go to find those TFOs. Okay? You can also find them under All if you know what they're called and look them up. But that's the other thing you can do with Rise of Discovery. So you've got 2 new missions to play, and then you've got the TFOs that they've brought back into the game previously to grind for marks. Now, why do you want to grind for these Discovery marks? Well, that would be the new reputation. So let's bring that up. So look at that. Reputation, and right at the top, this is what's new. Discovery Legends. This is the new reputation to grind those marks for. Okay. Now, I don't know every piece of gear that this thing's going to offer, although in not the last news video, but the previous one to that, we did look at some of the things it will be having, and there's some cool dark matter torpedoes that I'm really interested in with this reputation. There's also a space set I was interested in as well. So there may be some good stuff in this Discovery Legends reputation. Don't think for 1 minute that this gear is not for, you know, your Federation captain, that it's like old gear from the 23rd century and it's not going to benefit you. No, this gear will benefit a current 25th century captain. This gear will benefit them. It's got, you know, the power levels that match and everything. So this gear is for everyone. I love the look of these suits, by the way. Love the look of that. But this is what you want to grind for. Obviously, it can go up to tier 6. So tier 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So a long way to go. Guys, it's going to take a long time to upgrade this. But I plan to do that. I will be working on it. It will just take a lot of time. So I can't really show you everything that's in it right now, obviously, because, well, I don't have anything unlocked. But in time, as I start getting more things unlocked, and especially when I get tier 5 completed, I will come back and do another video on it to show you what's in the reputation. I can't show you everything right now, but you get the idea. So you do select active project. You know, we'll start a project here. I'll need 30 discovery marks to start. I have none right now. You need the spore canisters to buy gear. I have none of that right now, obviously. So yeah, I'm gonna have to work on all that. But let's see what we can look at. So if you click each tier, you do kind of get a preview of what you can expect under there. Tier 1, you get Arium's Augments, damage over time and area of effect resistance. You get Tyler's Memories, close range damage increase. You get tier 1 passive abilities. You get the Defensive Engineering console, very rare. You get the Projectile Tactile console. Can't tell you what all these do right now, but just that you get them at these levels. You get the very rare Dark Matter Quantum Torpedo Launcher. I'm looking forward to that. That's part of Lorca's Ambition set. You get the very rare Hostile Environmental Shield. That's part of your ground set. That's called Burnham's Resolve. At tier 2, Arium's Efficiency, damage over time and area of effect resistance. Saru's Grace, controlling enemy stacks damage and speed buffs. You get the very rare Defensive Science consoles. You get the very rare non-baryonic matter deflector. That's part of the space set called Stamets and Tilly's Ingenuity. You get the very rare Phaser Dual Heavy Beam Bank. That's part of the Lorca's Ambition. At Tier 3, you get Saru's Vigor, Landry's Tenacity. You get a very rare Support Engineering Console, a very rare Energy Tactical Console. You get the very rare Mycelial Wave Impulse Engine, and the very rare Mind Meld device, part of the ground set, part of another space set. At Tier 4, Tyler's Duality. You get Landry's Loyalty. Very rare Support Science Consoles, Mycelial Harmonic Matter Antimatter Core. That's part of the, not usable on Warbirds, however, but that's part of the space set. Very rare Mycelial Harmonic Singularity Core. You can use that on the Warbirds. Mud's Time Device, Gravity Containment Unit. Tier 5. What do we have? Tethered Non-Baryonic Asteroid. Burnham's CQC Armor. Burnham's CQC Environment Suit. Tilly's Review Pending Modified Shield. Console Lorca's Custom Fire Controls. And then Tier 6, we get basically enhanced traits. Arium's Augments, rank 2. Tyler's Memories, rank 2. Arium's Efficiency, rank 2. Saru's Grace, rank 2. Basically, everything is leveled up with the Tier 6. But then you get the Tier 6 unlocks on Reputation Flourish Social Zone ability, plus 2% bonus damage for set weapons from this reputation. You get an alternate energy type weapon, space and ground sets. Reputation Vanity Shield color variant, and you get to claim an account-wide gear discount, claim a fleet module, and claim a Captain Skills retrain token. So that's basically what the Discovery Legends is going to get you, and it's every captain can use it. I'm assuming the other factions like Klingons can use it too, Klingons and Romulans. I will double check though, but I'm pretty sure. So this is a reputation for all, and basically you grind those TFOs under discovery marks in order to get the discovery marks, and then of course the spore canisters, but you can only get the spore canisters under advanced or elite. So normal, you get marks only. Advanced and elite, you get marks and spores. So just keep that in mind. Works like all the other reputations. So basically, a new reputation to grind. That will be a long process indeed. A long process. So I can't really show you all the gear from that right now. I'm just going to have to wait and do it myself. Okay? So far we know you can play 2 new missions in the game. We know you can play the Discovery era TFOs that they brought back. We know that you can grind those TFOs for the Discovery reputation. So that's all good and said. That's a lot of grinding. That's all that. What else is big with this update? Well, that would be the Tier 6 scaling starships. So starting right after the tutorial, you can grab and fly your Tier 6 starship. However, it will be matching the tier of level that you are. So if you're level, if you're below level 10, it's going to match that tier. If you're at level 15, it's going to match that tier. And it will scale up with you as you go on. More console slots open, more weapon slots open, more hull strength and more shield strength, etc. That's how that works. So I assume if I go now to the Z store and look up ships and go to Tier 6, it should show me the stats now on all that. So let's see what happens. Here's just a random Advanced Heavy Cruiser Resolute class. So if I scroll down to this, it should show me what the scaling stuff is, and it kind of doesn't. So even though this ship we know is a scaling starship, they don't have the Z store updated to show you what those stats are at each level. These are the original stats here, so they have not updated the stats in the Z store. But we know that if I grabbed this ship at the beginning of the game, it will scale with me because it's a Tier 6 ship. So they really do need to go back, and now they have to update the Z store and put in all the proper information. Because right now, it's just the older information. So it doesn't look like it, but these tier 6 starships that you buy are scaling. And to know how it will scale, you pretty much just have to fly it. You pretty much just have to grab it and see what you get. Because I don't know. It doesn't list. There is a general, there is in not the last news video, but the one prior to it, I did show a web page where they have like a table that shows like how many consoles at what level you get and so forth. So you can check out that web page on StarTrekOnline.com to kind of get an idea of what the specs will be as it scales. It won't say that here in the Z store, but you'll have to go to that web page to see it. They need to update the Z store to put that information now. So that way people will know, because right now it doesn't look any different, even though we know that now they operate different. So you're not going to necessarily see a difference, especially if you're already level 65. You're not going to see a difference. It's when you're lower levels that you will. So that's going to be interesting. I might have to see how that works by making a new playthrough myself. That's the only way really that I'm going to see how the scaling starships work, is to play the game all over again. You know, myself, make a new character and work my way up. That's probably something that I'm going to do this summer maybe. I'll talk about that at the end of this video, so stay tuned. I've got an idea in my head for a new playthrough. So yeah, stay tuned to the end of this video and I will talk about that. So at this point, after you do all that stuff, that's pretty much it. That's Rise of Discovery. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of new stuff here. The biggest thing is really the tier 6 scaling ships. I imagine that took them a lot of work and time to do. Over 400 starships they had to edit. So doing that alone kind of means we get smaller updates in other areas. Only 2 new missions. Only the reputation, and then they're just bringing in what they already had before with the TFOs. So really the quote new stuff is really just 2 new missions, a reputation, and tier 6 scaling ships. 3 things. Not a whole lot. Doesn't look like a whole lot on paper, but I'm sure the tier 6 starship scaling thing was a pretty big bit of work on the back end. But I still, you know, even considering that, I still wish it was a little bit more. I still feel like we haven't got quite enough with these Discovery updates. Do you know what I mean? It seems like with each Discovery update, we've had a small update. The Age of Discovery was the first one, and we didn't get a whole lot there. Then it was the Mirror of Discovery, and we didn't really get a whole lot there. Then it is now the Rise of Discovery, and it still doesn't feel like we're getting a whole lot with each release. Now, if you look at it as a whole, if you combined Age of Discovery, Mirror of Discovery, and Rise of Discovery, if you combine it all, it's a big update. But it's like they've taken a big update and they've cut it into 3 parts, and then given us a part of the bigger overall update one at a time. But what that makes me feel anyway is that these are small updates. It doesn't feel that big, and I don't know, that's just kind of how I feel about it. I don't know, I mean, it's hard to put into words really, but it's like, is it enough? And it doesn't quite feel like enough. If they had just saved all of this for one big update, saved Age of Discovery, all of it for one big update, maybe it would feel bigger. But it's like we're getting little slices of an update every now and then. I guess the biggest thing was probably the first thing, where the DSC Starfleet faction was introduced. But really it was just a recut tutorial. Tilly was in it, that was great. But if you watch my playthrough of the DSC Starfleet faction, I have done a playthrough of that faction. If you watch that, you will see that I was disappointed that the tutorial was just a recut Federation tutorial. Really wasn't that different. And that's kind of how I feel about all this. I get that they are very excited to be lockstep, as they keep saying, with Star Trek Discovery. You know, they're lockstep with a live TV show. Although it's not really on TV, it's on a paid access network. But still, anyway, they are lockstep with it, right? They keep saying that. But I feel like they're just trickling stuff out. It's like, it almost feels like, oh, here, we finished this. Let's put it out now. Let's not wait to make it one big update. You know, and it just makes it feel smaller as a whole. I don't know. Just some random thoughts. Random thoughts in my head. Could be off base. Maybe you guys feel different. I don't know how you feel. I also posted another video on my channel a little while ago that was asking the question, have you had enough Star Trek Discovery updates in Star Trek Online? Do you want them to do something different, to move beyond Discovery and start introducing something more unique again? They did great with the Iconian War. They did great with the Delta Quadrant expansion. They did pretty good with the Dominion expansion. I want to see more of those kind of things. You know, I don't want them to just keep doing Discovery updates all year long. That would get kind of boring, wouldn't it? I don't know. Just some more random thoughts to think about out there. Anyway, I'm moving off topic. This is about Rise of Discovery, and that's pretty much all there is to it. There's really not much else to show. I mean, what is there? You've got 2 new missions, the TFOs we've already had before. You've got a new reputation to grind for. You got the Tier 6 scaling ships that you can roll a new character and I guess play a new scaling ship from start to finish. That could be exciting, I suppose. Let me log out of this character and go to my DSC Starfleet faction character. So this is Mirror Ricky. He is my DSC Starfleet faction character. Again, I did a playthrough on this faction, so check it out. I want to log into him because I want to see what the mission log or mission journal looks like on this character. Okay, this is the DSC Starfleet faction. When I go to the mission log, let's see what it looks like now. Okay, it's very different. It's very different. So right at the top is Age of Discovery on this. And it looks like the plausibility of the possible is now the first mission. And then the impossibility of reason is the second mission. And then secrets, and then downfall, and then welcome to Earth Space Dock. So yeah, it's still technically short. It's still a short faction. It's still an incomplete, small faction. It is, I wouldn't even hardly consider it a faction. You have 1 mission, 2 mission, 3 mission, 4 mission. And then you are in the 25th century. So this is a 4 mission long faction. Does that seem long enough to you? Does that seem like enough missions to be considered a faction to you? Because it does not to me. But at least it's longer than it was before, because before it was only 2 missions, Secrets and Downfall. It was only 2. Now at least we have 2 more added to it. So now it's, I guess they doubled the missions. I mean, math is math. They've doubled the missions for the DSC faction. But that's still not a lot, right? That's still not a lot. So anyway, it looks like now you play the plausibility of the possible first, then impossibility of reason, and then you go into the other stuff, and then you're thrust into the future. And then it looks like you've got to play through everything to get to the new thing they've called Return of Discovery. Return of Discovery used to be called Mirror of Discovery, but they've renamed it Return of Discovery. And that's where you find Parapacum and Illusion of Communication. But you have to wait to play those all the way down at the very bottom after everything. So kind of weird, isn't it? Yeah, I'm just not. I mean, I'm happy that they have put these 2 new missions as part of Age of Discovery. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad they did because it needed them, but it's still not enough. We need 10 more missions under Age of Discovery for it to feel like a faction. You know, we need a lot more than what's here now. Again, it's like it's that incomplete feeling. It's that like trickling stuff out in a very small slices for us. But in the meantime, what we get is an incomplete feeling faction. And it's still that way. Uh, Pretty crazy. Well, anyway, at least they did double it. It's doubled. But yeah, that's where these 2 new missions are now. That's what I was curious about. I wanted to see where these were now in the storyline on the DSC Starfleet faction. And that's where they are. They're at the very top. They're at the very first thing, I guess, right after the tutorial. That's what you would end up doing, are those 2 things. So that's interesting. That's interesting. Let me check the Klingon and Romulan factions and see what they look like there. Where my Klingon be? Here's a Klingon. Well, she's an Orion, but she's KDF. Okay, let's go to mission log journal. Okay, so they've done the same thing that they've done with the Federation. They've put Age of Discovery at the very bottom. And that's where you'll find Secrets, Downfall, TFO, Parapacum, Illusion. Yeah, and then the last 2 missions, which are the new missions they just added, are at the very bottom. Bam. Let me double check with my Romulan. But probably the same case here as well. This is a Romulan aligned with the Federation. And yeah, same thing. They have put Age of Discovery at the bottom, and the 2 new missions are at the very bottom. So really, every faction has these 2 new missions in Age of Discovery at the very bottom of all the missions, except for the DSC Starfleet faction, which has it at the top. That's basically the difference. Huh. Well, okay. So that's how it is then. At this point, there's really not much else I can show you. I cannot show you the Tier 6 scaling ships yet because I need a low-level captain for that, and I don't have anything low-level right now. I would need a need to start a new playthrough is what I need to do. So let me throw this idea out there and see what you guys think. And if you want to see this, I'm thinking of doing a new playthrough in Star Trek Online with the sole purpose of demonstrating a Tier 6 scaling starship. But I don't want to do just a standard veteran lifetime subscriber run through or playthrough. I want to do another free-to-play playthrough. It's been a long time. Rami Summers, if you recall, was a character I had where I did a free-to-play playthrough on. I don't have access to that character anymore. She's gone, so I cannot bring her back in. I'm sorry, she's gone. But what I can do is start a new playthrough, another free-to-play playthrough. No veteran status, no lifetime status, 100% free to play. Start that character, do the tutorial, get to the point where I can buy a C-Store Tier 6 starship right after the tutorial, and then start leveling up with that ship and do a playthrough of that. Now, I would not record every single mission because that would take a whole year to do. As you can see, it takes a long time to play all this. There would be hundreds of videos, over 100 videos. So I can't do that, but what I would do is record all the important stuff, record the transitions that I would be making from, like level 9 to 10, for example, or level 19 to 20, and so forth. That transition where you upgrade to the next level and your ship would upgrade with you. and show that in the video. Show how the focus of the video would be how the scaling tier 6 starships work. You know, you have a certain amount of power level at where you're at, and then as you upgrade, that upgrades with you to the next level, the next tier, the next thing, and more things open up on the ship. I can show that in a video, and we can see that transition so that you will see my progress as I play that character. I won't record every mission, but I will just show random videos as I'm progressing through that character to show you where I'm at, where my ship's at, what the power levels look like, what all the stats on it look like, and then keep showing that as it's upgrading to show you how that scaling works with that ship all the way to end game. And I'll do it on a free-to-play character. No buffs, no benefits, no extra veteran stuff, no extra lifetime subscriber stuff, nothing. All free-to-play. And we can see what that experience is like, and I can talk about it. And it will be a shorter series that way. One that I can really hit the nail on the head with. Really get to the heart of the tier 6 scaling starship experience and make that the focus. What do y'all think of that playthrough? That's something that if I do that, which I am leaning toward, it would be something that I start this summer. It would not be an immediate thing right now. I've still got a lot on my plate right now to get through. But it would be a summer thing. It would be like a June or July thing. A summer thing that I start. If you want to see something like that, subscribe and like and let me know in the comments, and I will do that. But again, it would be coming this summer, not immediately. So you'll definitely want to subscribe so you don't miss that when I do that. But that's what I'm thinking of. I think that could be quite exciting. I think that would be quite good to show, and I would love to do that. So yeah, let me know what you think of that below. That's what you can look forward to for sure, is something like that. Otherwise, there's no other way for me to show you what the tier 6 scaling starships look like and how they work. That's the only way. So anyway, here we are. I'm now at the end of my intro video for the Rise of Discovery. There's really nothing else at this point that I can demonstrate or show you. The biggest thing is I want to go play the 2 new missions now. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do a blind playthrough. I've never played them yet. I'm going to first play them on my Federation faction character, just to play them like any normal person would. Like say you're at end game and you just want to play the new missions. I'm going to play it like that first. But then I'm going to go back and play them again on my DSC Starfleet faction character. That way we'll see if there's any differences. And I will record both of them in that way. So expect 4 videos. Expect them once on my Federation faction character, my science captain. I'll use the Discovery ship. And then a second time I will play them on the DSC faction character. And we'll see how both factions treat those missions. And so 4 new videos. That's what you can expect. And I plan to have those out probably toward the later part of this week. Okay, the later part of this week. But that's going to be the deal. That's going to be what I'm going to do next. And then I will see from there what the next part is. I guess I need to start grinding the TFOs to unlock the reputation. That's going to be the important part. I may do a video again on the TFOs just to remind us what they look like and how they play. But yeah, I've got to grind all those TFOs to get the marks to open the reputation. That's what I'm going to work on. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing here with Rise of Discovery. I will also be continuing my Romulan playthrough with Omega. That playthrough will be continuing every day. So expect a video on that as well. Definitely going to continue that till I get to the very last mission. Alright everybody, well that's all I've got. That's Rise of Discovery. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think of this update. Very interested in your comments and feedback. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for the next one.